You have a lot of options when it comes to using points and miles to stay at hotels. In today's episode, we're taking a deep dive into a hotel brand that we've come to stay at with more in recent years, Hilton. Welcome to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Pam, Alex's mom.
And I'm Jess. Let's talk points. Y'all know that I'm a Hyatt girl, as are most of us here at Travel Mom Squad. But in the last couple of years, we've really come to find a lot of value out of the Hilton Honors program. And so we wanted to discuss Hilton more today, as I feel like I know I'm staying at Hilton's more often. I know, Pam, you have some Hilton stays coming up, and even Alex is getting on board the Hilton train. I'm still a Hyatt queen and a Hyatt loyalist, but Hilton might be catching up. So first, we're going to go over our background with Hilton. I personally don't have a ton of background with Hilton other than my more recent stays. Before I got into points and miles, I just stayed at whatever hotel chain was cheapest. And so I was never really loyal to any particular hotel chain or brand. And then when I started using points and miles is when I became really obsessed with Hyatt because of the oversized value that you can get from Hyatt stays. I pretty much never stayed at Hilton until recently. I just find their free night certificates so valuable. And now that they have acquired SLH properties, I'm more tempted to stay with Hilton. And so that's kind of my background. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, so same as you, I didn't really have much of a background with Hilton. Growing up, my family was a Marriott family, and then I got into points and miles and realized what a sweet spot Hyatt was, so really gravitated towards Hyatt. And I knew there was a lot of value in Hilton with their aspirational properties in particular, but I wanted to really have a plan for how I was going to use those points. And originally my big plan was I'm going to get Hilton points and go to the Hilton Conrad Maldives. And then thinking that'll be years and years down the road when I can be able to do that. Happened a lot sooner than I thought, but that was thanks to Marriott opening a new property there. And so, yeah, I just had never really gotten into Hilton. And then they came out with some really good offers. I want to say it was like last year, I believe. Yeah, it was I got my first Hilton card not till 2023. I've been doing this for like almost over 7 years now, I want to say. So I just got started with Hilton. And yeah, I got my first Hilton card because there was an increased offer and I had a plan for how I was going to redeem those points. And since then, I'm like, oh, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Hilton. So just opened a second one. So both my husband and I have opened 2 Hilton cards now. What about you, Mom?
Well, as we all know, when I started, I was all over the place. I was getting all the cards. I wasn't thinking about it. And so I actually I think Hilton was just one of those cards. And I think I got
Mhm.
all of their cards, pretty soon. And I've held on to those points. I had no idea what I was going to do with them. I just had all these Hilton points. And then I heard about the Conrad Bora Bora, and I thought that's what I want to do with my points. So I waited until a there was good availability, there was good redemption. I heard about it one time, got on there and quickly booked that. And that was my, you know, first dealings with Hilton really. Really didn't stay at very many Hiltons, maybe a are they the Garden Express or
Hilton Garden Inn,
Hilton Garden
Hollywood
Inn.
yeah, a
Suites.
couple of those with family things. But then, and I really did think about that once in a lifetime rule at all. And so I had them all, got them all, and then used most of my points at the Conrad Bora Bora. And I was like, dang, now I'd kind of like to have some more Hilton points. And then all of a sudden there was an offer for the Amex business card and it didn't have any lifetime language attached to it. And it came with a free night certificate with the welcome offer. And then you could get one with when you spent so much money on it. Now, that isn't available anymore. It doesn't come with that free night certificate anymore, which is a huge bummer because I thought that was my gateway into Hilton points forever. And so that was, very upsetting. And since I've gotten them all already, I kind of have to wait till I find them without the lifetime language or until I meet that lifetime, which seems to be about 7 years with
Which you might be
Amer-
pretty close.
Yeah, I might be getting pretty close actually. But since the small luxury hotel has become partnered with Hilton, I really want more points. I really want more Hilton points. And so I do still have a fair amount. I still have a couple free night certificates, and so does my husband. And I'm kind of being very careful how I spend them now because I have found a lot more value in Hilton than I originally did.
All right. So, Alex, why don't we start out talking about earning Hilton points and like the ways to do it and what you would recommend maybe for some of our listeners who are brand new to Hilton, don't have any Hilton cards at all.
Yeah, so Hilton cards are issued by American Express. And the nice thing is they have a bunch of them and you can have all of them at the same time. So for personal cards, they have 3 personal cards. There's the Hilton Honors card. It's like their basic no annual fee card. A lot of times this card will have a welcome offer of about 100,000 points and people will always message us. Well, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I will see them. They're like, "Is this a really good offer on this card?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a good offer. For a no annual fee card, it's a really good offer, but it's not one that you need to, like, worry about jumping on." Like, I've never opened the Hilton Honors card.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I probably will at some point, and it'll just be a card I keep since it has no annual fee, and it does come with silver status, which gives you the 5th night free on awards days, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But that's, like, the entry level Hilton card. So, their next card is the Hilton Surpass card. This one has a $150 annual fee, a free night award each calendar year if you spend $15,000 on the card. You get Hilton Gold status. This is one that I opened this year and my husband opened this year. I think you and Ted both opened it. Mom, you probably already had it. So
It's
that's that's a good one. And then the Hilton Aspire is their premium card. So this one has a $550 annual fee, pretty hefty fee there. Free award night when you open the card in addition to whatever the points offerings are. It's interesting because when you see the welcome offer, it always just says the points. It doesn't really say plus a free night award. It's just a benefit of the card. And usually you get those annual free night certificates the second year, but with the Aspire, you get it the first year. You get it on opening the card. So you get it when you open the card, and then every year on your account anniversary, you get another free night award if you spend $30,000 on the card. Another if you spend $60,000 on the card, you get Hilton Diamond status. A lot of other benefits like Hilton credits. So if you are loyal to Hilton, 100% makes sense to have this card. And the Surpass card also has other benefits like, credits with Hilton as well. So those are the personal cards. And then there's the Hilton Honors business card. It has a $195 annual fee. Actually, you know what? Does the Surpass have the credits? I don't think it does. I think just the business card has the credits, the Hilton credits. They just changed their benefits a couple months ago.
yeah.
But the business card definitely has Hilton credits. And that one is $60 per quarter. So it's a little annoying that it's like you can't just use your $240 however you want it'd be really great if they said, here's $240 in credits. Use it however you want. You have a year
Yeah.
to use them. But
Yeah.
no, they give you $60 a quarter. So I will say I am not a fan of how Amex has changed a lot of their benefits to be harder to redeem. So anyway, so the business card, $195 annual fee, you get those credits. Like my mom said, it used to have the 15,000. Like if you spend $15,000 on the card, you got a free night award. They don't have that anymore. So I didn't keep that card this year.
I just looked it up. The Surpass does have $50 a quarter
Okay.
for Hilton purchases. So $200 annually, $50 a quarter. I have the Surpass and the Aspire and the business card. I have all 3. And so I can never I can never keep track of like which card has which benefit. I always have to
Yeah.
just like log into my Amex account and check to make sure that I've used them. And so another hot tip is some Hilton properties allow you, if you know you're going to have a stay, they allow you to like prepay some of your expenses. And so, for example, I have a stay booked next year at the Conrad Bora Bora. And so I'm going to email them and say, can I prepay some of my expenses? And they will send you a link. And then you can, so I can pay like $50 on my Surpass card, $60 on my business card, and have those credits go towards my stay next year.
Oh,
So
nice.
if you're staying at a resort like
Yeah.
that, but you might want to like reach out and check and see if they allow you to prepay any of your stuff.
Good,
Nice.
good
Well,
hint.
I'm going to be staying there too, so maybe I should reach out to them. I don't have the business card anymore. My husband and I both canceled ours, but we do have the Surpass, each of
Yeah.
us. So that's it for the Hilton Amex cards, but American Express membership rewards also have Hilton as a transfer partner. They transfer 1 to 2. So a nice transfer ratio there. So that would include like your Amex Gold, personal and business, your Amex Platinum, personal and business. There's a couple others like the Amex Green, the Blue Business Plus. Hopefully I'm getting that one right. We just opened that one actually, but any card that earns American Express membership rewards, you can transfer those to Hilton. So what's really nice is like back in September, they had a transfer bonus, a 30% transfer bonus. So that's on top of the 1 to 2. So fingers crossed they keep having more of those, but that can make it so you can book some of those really expensive properties for way less points. So really nice option. So we will use this transfer option when there is a bonus or to top off our Amex or our Hilton accounts. But we try to get the majority of our Hilton points from their co-branded Hilton cards. Like if you know you're going to be staying at a Hilton property, it just makes sense to get a Hilton card versus I'm going to use all my Amex membership rewards for Hilton when those could instead be used towards flights. So another thing, like my mom had mentioned, is all the Amex cards have a once per lifetime rule. So this is more like 7 years or so. So I like to time up opening the Hilton cards when they have a really great offer. I don't want to just go open it for, 130,000 Hilton points and that's it. I think that's a pretty, maybe a standard offer, I would say, is
Mhm.
about that. I like to wait until the offer's really good, which is why I had never opened one till 2023 because I had never seen them include a free night certificate with the business card or the Surpass. And so when they had to increase the points and give a free night certificate, I was like, okay, now this is an offer I can get on board with. So that's kind of what we recommend doing is opening these cards when they have increased offers. They do have increased offers till January 8th of 2025. They don't have like the annual free night certificate as well on top of the increased points, but if you know you have a stay coming up, could be a good option. The Aspire already comes with a free night all the time, so that could be a really good one to open this year if you're wanting to start earning some points for Hilton stays.
That's what I was going to say is the Aspire never, I mean, it always comes with a free night, but they never
Yeah.
add
Mhm.
on another one. That would be
Yeah, that
amazing if
would
they
be
did.
great.
So I feel like when there's an elevated offer on the points, then that's a good time to open the Aspire card because like you said, because you're gonna get that free night the first year anyways. And then I'm hoping they bring back the free night with the Surpass in
I
2025
know.
because
I
that
do
was
too.
just
That
an
was
amazing
awesome.
offer.
Yeah. So that's it with the Hilton cards, Mom. Why don't you tell us a little bit about like Hilton's award charts, points prices, that kind of stuff?
Well, sadly, Hilton doesn't have an award chart, and that's always a lot tougher. It means that they're following dynamic pricing, and so the cost of the room will vary. They do have some limits, though, and you won't pay more than 150K points for a standard room. 150K points. That sounds crazy to me when you're talking about that compared to the top Hyatt hotel being like 45K. So it's just dynamic pricing is just insane. And so sometimes when you're looking at offers on cards, it will get people saying, "Oh, this sounds so good. It's 150K." points for this Hilton card, and they think it sounds so great. And you're going, yeah, it's not going to go as far as it will in other places. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. So sometimes when the standard rooms are gone, you can see rooms that are going at some of the hotels for over 1,000,000 points. I mean, it's like
It's
insanity.
crazy.
I remember when I was trying to book the Conrad Bora Bora the first time, I was going in there, I'd see, all these rooms that were, 500,000 points or more. And I'm going, I could never stay there. This is never going to happen. And I wasn't realizing that the standard rooms were gone. And so you have to find the standard room pricing to make it reasonable. There is on their site a tool that I haven't ever used. It's called the Points Explorer tool. We'll link it in the show notes. So you can kind of give you an idea of the cost at various properties. So if you're looking for a hotel that is going to cost, say, 95K points, it will let you know what properties are available for that, or for
Well,
50K.
it's actually a little different. So you put in the hotel you wanna stay at or,
Like
like,
I
the
said, I've never
destination.
used it, so thanks, Al.
Yeah, no problem. So you'd put in, like, the one you'd put in Grand Wailea, and then it will pull up the range of points pricing for that hotel per night. So then you're not, like, totally have no idea what you're getting into. So it
Okay.
can be helpful.
Yeah. So one of the things that we do is that we don't use our Hilton points at properties like Homewood Suites or Embassy Suites. Instead, for those low cost hotels or those medium, we will use a Hyatt points or a free certificate from Hyatt or Marriott. That's what we do. We actually will use our Hilton points for very aspirational stays. Like the Hilton Conrad in whatever country you want to go to. We've all been to to Bora Bora, or the Waldorf Astoria. We've been to the Waldorf Astoria Los Pedregales in Cabo. And so at the end of this, we're going to share some of our favorite stays. But the value of our points is much higher when we use them for these kind of stays. We just don't use them for the non-aspirational stays. And that's just a choice that we make. Like we said a million times, you do you. You want to use them for that, go for it. It's no shame, no blame. We're on board for that. That's just what we do.
Yeah,
So
I
Alex, tell
think
us about those Hilton
oh, hold
free
on, I
night
was gonna
awards.
say one other thing. I feel like, the reason we would use the Hyatt free night certificate is because those have a cap, a 1 to 4, or a Marriott, it might be capped at 35,000 points, and I feel like those are perfect for booking those hotels that are maybe in a city where you're just going for your kids' tournament, or you're going to Disneyland, or things like that, whereas for me, Hilton points are for stays that I would never
Mhm.
could afford, or would ever wanna spend that amount of money to stay at, like Bora Bora, like, the Conrad Bora Bora was, like, never even in the realm of possibility, and so that's what I like to use my Hilton points for, is to stay at places that are just, like, kinda mind-blowing where you're like, "Wait, I'm staying here?" And so that is what I save those for. And I will say a tool, I don't think we have this plan to talk about later, but those can be hard to find to
Mhm.
book. Like, the availability can go really quickly with some of those properties. So we would recommend setting an alert on something like Max My Point, or just checking Max My Point periodically. There's rooms.arrow, just an award search engine, you know, alert system that can help you find those nights, because they can be really hard to find, because they are, they only have so many standard rooms, and once those are gone, then you're looking at 1,000,000 points per night for some of those aspirational properties. So just a couple little tips there.
I use alerts by Jess. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
that's a really good alert system. I don't know if everybody has
I
that,
think
but
I think our Facebook group also appreciates alerts
I
by Jess. It's funny because
yeah.
I always feel I'm like, am I annoying people with these posts? Like, are they tired of seeing me post about availability? And then someone always comments like, please continue sharing this. And I'm like, okay,
They're like, "I just booked it. Thanks so much."
I'm not annoying them yet. But yeah, so I'm going to talk about the Hilton Free Night Awards. I think we all agree that Hilton Free Night Awards are the most valuable free night certificates of any hotel chain, including Hyatt. Because like Alex said, most of Hyatt's free night certificates are capped at a category 4. With Hilton, you can use a free night certificate at almost any Hilton in the world as long as there is a standard room available. So I just got back from Greece. I used a Hilton free night certificate at the Canavest Epitome. That room, the standard room there goes for like $2,000 a night. And you can use a Hilton free night certificate there. So that is pretty mind blowing when you think about it. Like we discussed, you can earn one with the Aspire. You'll earn one every year, including your first year. With the Surpass, you'll earn one after spending $15,000 in a calendar year. That is something that I think all three of us do. I certainly have spent the $15,000 on the card on my Surpass and on Ted's Surpass. That's just that's how valuable we think that Hilton free night certificates are. The other thing is, I think with the Surpass and the Aspire, you get 3x points on just everyday like they have the spend categories, but just on any everyday purchases that don't fall within those categories, you get 3x. So if I think I paid taxes with mine to reach the 15K, I got 45,000 Hilton points in addition to that, And so
Yeah.
they really add the fact that you get 3x on everything, like those really add up over time if you're making these purchases. So that is another thing to keep in mind. The free night certificates do expire a year after they are earned. And so if you hit the 15,000 spend in October, I actually just hit it this month. So if you hit it in October, I got my free night award and it expires October 2025. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're planning, if you have a stay in mind that you want to use that at, you want to keep in mind that it's going to expire a year after it's earned. The most annoying thing to me is that you have to call or chat with Hilton to redeem these free night certificates. I wish you could just do it online. For now, you can't. So Hilton is one where I tend to call because their chat representatives are not the best. And
Agreed.
so, but they're like, I have diamond status with the Aspire. I'm assuming Gold has their own phone line as well, but they're usually able to get it done really quickly. And if you want to do a combination of points and free night certificates in one stay, they can also handle that for you if you call as well. And so you can say like, I have 2 free night awards I want to use for the same stay, or I have a free night award and points that I want to use, and they can kind of work it all out so that it's all under one stay and not like 3 different reservations. So that's that on Hilton free night awards, the best in the game. Let's hope they never change that.
Seriously. All right. Well, I'm going to cover fifth night free, which is a great Hilton benefit that we love, love, love. So when you stay 4 or 5 award nights, you're only going to be paying for 4. So this only works on points bookings. So it's really, really great because if you're going to be staying at one of those aspirational properties that cost 120,000 points per night, you get the fifth night free. You just saved 120,000 points. So super great benefit. To take advantage of this, you have to have Hilton Silver status or higher. So if you hold any Hilton credit card, you'll have Hilton status. Hilton Silver, like I said before, comes with even the no annual fee card. So another option, if you don't have any Hilton cards, you can also get Hilton status. You'll get Hilton Gold status when you hold the Amex Platinum, personal, or business card. So you do have to enroll in that, I think. Don't quote me on that actually, but I think you have to enroll in that to be able to take advantage of that. My mom and Jess are shaking their head. If you're not watching this on YouTube, it is confirmed that you do have to enroll in that. So one thing to keep in mind, though, is a lot of people ask us, well, I have a free nights award and I want to use points. Can I do like one night with my free night award and 3 nights on points and then get my fifth night free? And no, you can't do that. You have to book your 5 nights consecutively using points, and then you'll just pay for 4. If you want to stay a 6th night, then you can add on that free night certificate. Is that what you did for Bora Bora, Jess? Did you guys do 6 nights?
That is what I did for Bora
Okay.
Bora. So I booked the first night with a free night certificate that I had, and then we're staying 6 nights total, so then I booked 5 nights on points, and so it was 480,000 points, for those 5 nights. So 480,000 points plus 1 free night certificate for 6 nights that would cost, like, $15,000 if
Yeah.
I were paying cash. Another
So,
thing I wanted to just add in really quickly that I don't think is on our outline, but I think is important to note is you can transfer Hilton points
oh,
between
yes.
members and it's free. You can transfer up to 500,000 Hilton points in a single calendar year. And so and you can do any Hilton member. It doesn't have to be someone who lives in your household or a family member. You can do it online. You don't have to call. We did I had Ted trans I had me acting as Ted transferring a lot of points to me this year. And then I was able to book stays through my account. So it's always nice when a program allows you to transfer points for free
Totally.
and online and it's instant. It just makes everyone's life easier.
Yeah.
Well,
So we
Alex,
love oh,
oh,
go ahead, mom.
yeah, when we went to Bora Bora, I didn't have enough points to book 4 nights and get the 5th night free. So what I did, I think I was probably, 60,000 points shy. So I purchased Hilton points. And, we don't usually do that a lot, but sometimes it just makes sense. There was a bonus that I got on the points that I purchased, and to get that 5th night free totally made sense, and so that's what I did. So that's something else you can do if you're just a little bit shy. Hilton offers some really good bonus points when you purchase from them, and so something to keep in mind if you just need a few extra points.
Yeah, sometimes those bonuses will be targeted. Maybe, there's been ones where it'll even be 100% bonus or an 80% bonus. Not always guaranteed that you're going to be targeted for it. But I've even seen cases where it actually can make sense to buy points for your whole entire stay instead of paying cash. So definitely can be worth it to buy Hilton points. You just always want to do the math and see, okay, what's the cost if I just pay outright? What's the cost if I pay for all of these points and then book my stay with points? So I definitely recommend having status though, either a Hilton card or Amex Platinum Business so you get that 5th night free. It'll save you a lot. And that for me, like if I'm going somewhere, I like to try to stay for 5 nights because it doesn't make a ton of sense in my mind to be like, okay, I'm going to use points for 4 nights, but then leave or use points for 3 nights. It's like I'd rather be like, okay, I'm going to use a free night certificate or a couple free night certificates and then points for the 3rd night. If I'm
Mhm.
using 3 nights of points, I might as well just figure something else out and save those points for 5 nights somewhere else. Yeah, let's hear about Hilton's status. I mean, we've kinda talked about one of the benefits with the 5th night free, but tell us how we can get status, Mom.
Well, Hilton status is probably one of the easiest statuses to get. You just have to have one of their credit cards. Their top tier status is diamond. That comes with a Spire card. So, like, I don't have that right now. I know Jess has it. It includes room upgrades, free continental breakfast, food and beverage credits at some places. What I have is gold. That's the next status. And you get the same breakfast benefits. I think the time that I enjoyed this status the most was at the Conrad Bora Bora. I just really liked the breakfast that we got there. What were those things that I liked that
The Queen of Mons.
oh my goodness, they were
She never wanted to, like,
amazing.
put him go to the edge of there and just drop him in her beach bag and take him with her throughout the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I loved those things. They were so amazing. And the only thing about Hilton status is because it's so easy to get, a lot of people get it, and it's not quite as rewarding as Hyatt Globalist. I mean, if you're talking about hotel status, Hyatt Globalist has it beat to pieces, but it's a lot of work to get Hyatt Globalists.
Yeah.
And so being able to get Hilton status, have the right credit card, You've got it easy peasy. It's, very rewarding and much easier to get.
I'll also say that for Hilton, the breakfast benefit is just for 2 people, whereas, like, with Hyatt Globalist, it's for 2 adults and 2 children, so not as generous for families with Hilton Gold and Diamond breakfast benefit, and it's really weird because their international properties usually include a full breakfast, but their domestic properties are typically just a food and beverage credit, but they will go by how many people are listed in the room. So even if you're just traveling alone, I always add, like, my husband's name to the reservation and book it for 2 adults because we stayed at one recently that was, like, we stayed at the, Waldorf Astoria Park City, and
Oh,
there you
yeah.
get, like, I think it was, like, a $50 food and beverage credit each
Oh, wow.
day, but I added Ted, and so we got $100 each day, which, by the way, still didn't cover our family's breakfast, but that's a story for another episode. But yeah, so, like, whenever there's any sort of food and beverage credit, if you add a second person, even if they're not staying with you, you will get the credit times 2. So always do that, even if you're
Oh,
staying
wow.
alone.
Good tip, Jess.
All right, so I think we're gonna talk about our favorite Hilton stays to date, and then also maybe a Hilton stay that we have booked and are looking forward to, or that we would like to book in the future. So Pam, why don't you kick us off with your favorite Hilton stay to date?
Well, I don't know if this is my favorite because I think Alex is probably gonna say my favorite, but this was probably my
Well, that's
second
the
favorite.
problem. We've all been to a lot of the same Hilton
Yes.
properties, so we kinda have to figure out who's gonna say what. I thought you were gonna say, a small luxury hotel, Mom. I thought you were gonna say Grand Victoria, but you've talked about that a lot, so
Right, I have, and I
everybody already
probably
knows.
would say that I was really sticking to a Hilton brand,
Yeah.
and so I would say the Waldorf Astoria Los Pedregales in Cabo was an amazing stay, one I would love to do again. It too is very bougie, very expensive to stay at. It was one of those places that I looked at everybody that's staying there, and I'm going, "How do these people afford this? And how am I here on, points?" It was like, and then you've got the, guacamole and chips being sent to your room every day, and
That
the
was a
cookie
really
they
good
give you when
touch.
you leave, and I'm like, "This is pretty nice." I mean,
Yeah.
the service
Yes.
was amazing. They always remembered your name. It is definitely an aspirational stay that I hope I can do again
I
someday. I
I
would
love that they had the ocean view rooms, like, all the rooms are
Oh,
ocean view.
yes.
I
Yeah.
love that, and they all have their own little plunge pool too.
Yeah, great, great stay. For a place that I'd like to stay, there are several. I would say I still have the Seychelles on my mind. I almost went to them. It was between Mauritius and Seychelles this last year. So I think I'd like to go to the Waldorf Astoria Seychelles Platte Island. I think that maybe the next time, if I'm able to actually complete my African safari next time, I'll add that to that trip because I'm already over in the area. So that's what I'm going to say. How about you, Alex?
Well, one that I've already completed that we've talked about on the episode already is the Conrad Bora Bora. I mean, Bora Bora, enough said.
Mhm.
Like,
Totally. Mic
incredible,
drop.
beautiful. Yeah. So one I'd like to try is the Waldorf Astoria Maldives. I think it's called Itafushi. It is very hard to find availability. Standard nights here, it is 150,000. The standard room is an overwater villa. To get to Jess, you're gonna like this. You don't have to take a seaplane to get there. You take a yacht, and it is
Ooh, fancy.
honey, it is expensive. The yacht, I mean, the seaplane transfers are expensive too.
Yeah.
I wanna do the yacht transfer. I mean, I feel like a yacht transfer should be cheaper than a plane, but it is not. It's like $800 to $1,000 per person. I feel like I'm not sure. I saw like a TikTok where someone said it was 1,000, but then I looked it up and it said 800. So I think it's 800. But that's pretty pricey, and it's not even a private yacht, that's for the shared yacht. You can book the private yacht for more. definitely would love to try that someday. There is also the Zemi Beach House in Anguilla that I've heard really good things about. And then the Waldorf Astoria Punta Cacique. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's in Costa Rica and it's not even open yet. I think it's supposed to open this spring. So it's in like the Guanacaste area. I'd love to try that one sometime. What about you, Jess?
All right, favorite stay already completed is actually the Conrad Bora Bora, but Alex stole that from me.
She stole it
So,
from all of us.
That's what
so
I mean.
my
That's what happens when you make the outline. You get to put you get to
you get to
answer
answer
the
the
question.
question first. So my very close runner-up is Cannabis Epitome, which I just got back from and loved it. Cannot believe that you can use like points or a free night certificate to stay in Santorini at this luxury hotel that costs $2,000 a night with sunset views for free. That's another thing I don't think we mentioned that I love about Hilton is they also do not charge taxes or resort fees on award stays. Like Hilton and Hyatt are the only two that do that. Marriott and IHG both charge resort fees and all that, even on award stays. So $0. That like my stay was $0 at Cannabis Epitome, which actually it wasn't because we got dinner and charged it to the room. But
And
if we
you got
had
an upgrade, but
and we got
if
an
you
upgrade,
just
but
use the points, then it would have
yes.
been $0.
Yeah. So Santorini, Cannabis Epitome cannot go wrong. There are several Cannabis properties you can use Hilton points at. ES Suites is another one that we love, and that's a great option. So as far as want to try, all right, here's some city options, not just beach options that I have for you. So I have 3 different city Hilton stays booked for next year that I'm excited about. I had the Conrad Tokyo booked for our spring break trip to Tokyo. And then in the summer, we are going to Iceland and Ireland. And so I have the Canopy Reykjavik booked. This is going to kill you, Alex. We're staying 4 nights. And like, so I could technically have gotten the 5th night free, but I already had booked our flight
Yeah. Well,
and
and
I
it just
couldn't.
goes to show, like, you do you. You know, it always ideally, maybe you wanna try to get 5, but
I
no
know.
one makes
I
sense.
was like, this is killing me to book this and pay for 4 nights and not get the 5th night free, but I could not make it work to change our flights that we had already booked. So
Yeah.
here's Jess making a mistake, but there we go. But hey, we're staying. Iceland is pricey, and we got to, there's 4 of us going, and the max occupancy is 2. So we had to get 2 rooms. So 2 rooms for 4 nights each for free in Reykjavik is I'm not gonna complain about that. And then when we go to Dublin, we are staying at the Conrad Dublin there also. So I'm really excited about all 3 of those city stays. I'm a fan of Conrad hotels, so I'm excited to try the one in Tokyo and the one in Dublin. And yeah, I'm just like kind of turning into a Hilton girly, but I still love you,
I'm
Hyatt.
excited about all the posts you're going to write about
I
those.
know.
So we hope that this episode has helped you better understand the Hilton Honors program. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and subscribe to our newsletter so you never miss an increased Hilton welcome bonus offer.
Thanks so much for listening to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button from wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. Want to start jet setting even faster? Follow the links in the show notes to learn about everything we discussed in today's episode. And to stay connected and follow along, follow us on Instagram at Travel Mom Squad. We can't wait to see where in the world points and miles take you.